family, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm new here, so we can go ahead and have these conversations together, y'all, because, I've been sitting down thinking this world is just really interesting right now, and I don't see society taking that moral correction that it needs anytime soon. The Rodney Hinton Jr. case, right? I find it interesting that it takes things like this for society to be like, all right, maybe we do have a problem. Maybe we do have a problem with the justice system. Because it's definitely two-tiered. You can ignore it all you want, But we'll just see how well that continues to play out in society. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, let's move on. The real issue at hand is having an unequal justice system, having a broken justice system, having a two-tiered justice system. Unbalanced, whatever you want to call it. That shit only works, excuse my language, that stuff only works, for certain people. And when you point that out, they call you a victim, or I don't even want to go down that route. But when you point that out, they just try to gaslight you. Okay, let's just say that, to sum it up. This is the result of having a broken justice system. And if we continue to ignore it, y'all, I don't know. I do not know. I don't know. But I feel like there needs to be a moral correction. Like ASAP. Yesterday, last month, last year, okay? We are behind. Thing I'd like to bring up, not trying to hold y'all too long, is Matthew Exton, okay? Look it up. Got this man, he a divorce attorney, and you up in your old spot trying to take your ex-wife out? Like, sir, what's wrong with you? He goes into a bar, restaurant, tries to kill his ex-wife, takes out a gun, tries to shoot her. The safety's on, right? He goes to fiddle with the safety after he realizes it didn't work the first time. Goes to fiddle with the safety. He gets tackled by people in the bar, restaurant, okay? Not sure which one. This man goes to court, and what happens? He receives bond. I feel like he's a threat to society. And the judge is just, he's not a threat to society, only to that person, I guess. I don't know. Bond. It's ridiculous. All right. Now, in the case of Rodney Hinton Jr., I don't feel he's a threat to society. I feel like he had a moment where he snapped, and that was that. I don't feel like he's going to snap again, I don't feel that way. But either way it goes, I'm just pointing out the hypocrisy in the justice system. Like clearly both of these people, either you see them as a threat or you don't. You can't just be like, I'm gonna pick and choose. That's when people start getting upset. That's when people start shouting out, the system's broken. So anyways, that's just one example of, how they just dish out bonds for their people all day. But when it comes to our people, locked up, no bonds. I mean, sometimes we get bonds. I'm not saying this applies to every situation in every case, but in America, typically, black person not getting that bond. They're immediately considered threat to society, whereas white folks can do anything: rape, murder, freaking shoot up crowds, and this, hunt people down. Rest in peace. What was his name? Ahmaud Arbery. Remember Ahmaud Arbery? Remember that case where them people mowed that man down in Georgia and they went home? I don't even think they got arrested for like a couple days. Y'all remember that? Shit like that happened. You think that would happen for us? No. But sticking to what's right and what's fair, is A and B, are they both considered threats to society? If so, lock their ass up then. You know what I'm saying? I'm not asking you to provide favoritism to, my people or to us at all. I'm not asking you to provide favoritism to me. I'm asking you to be fair and establish a set of laws and stand on those laws. They should apply to everyone. That's all that I'm saying, okay? Okay, so we talked about the bond situation, okay, and that being a problem. All right. Next, I'd like to mention the unequal sentencing. We see it all the time. Another person I'd like to bring up. Now, this one I think was in Kentucky. I've been reading so much, y'all, I can't remember, so forgive me. But I encourage you to always, 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 always double, triple check what people are saying on any channel or any platform, okay? All right. To keep the stories too long because I want to stay on topic here, but to keep it short and simple, and again, I encourage you to look up this article. They're both military benefits, or they're both military people, right? They're married. They have, I think, 3 children. Ashley Henning, Jordan Henning, that's their names. Now, if y'all see this video, y'all, he had no remorse for killing this beautiful mother of 3. He had no remorse. And that's what really ate at my soul. Like, this man ain't got no remorse. He up there crying on the stand, just acting like he's so distraught, calling her my friend. I lost my friend. I'm like, your friend. He murdered his wife, y'all, in cold blood. Right after her birthday. Mind you, this is the mother of his children. Okay? And he went upstairs and he shot her so many times. Came back downstairs, same thing. Safety and stuff, messing with the gun. Went back upstairs. Y'all need to go read that story. I brought it up just to let y'all know that this man only got 20 years. I said, dang, you can be black, serving your country, and they still ain't gonna do the right thing for you. They're gonna do the right thing for them. Now, is that right? No, it's not right. This man only get 20 years. You think that could happen and the roles are swapped? You know what I'm saying? That woman be white and the man be black. You think they're gonna give him 20 years? You think the judge gonna feel empathy or any sympathy towards that man? You think the jury gonna find any empathy or sympathy towards that man? Because how you give somebody 20 years for taking a life like that? So cold-blooded, yo. And then they just find ways to get them off every time. Like, when I looked up the charge, it wasn't even murder. It was like manslaughter or something. And I'm just like, that was clearly not manslaughter. Trying to say it wasn't premeditated and he didn't intend to kill her. He only intended to injure her. I guess that was when I'm looking up manslaughter, that's typically what it was saying in Kentucky. It was stating like, you know, well, he took the gun pretty much intending to injure her but not kill her. That's mind-blowing to me. You don't take a deadly weapon intending to just injure a person. That was your intention, though? That was your intention. The point I'm trying to drive home is, if the roles were reversed, they were swapped, right? That man be in jail for life. Possibly without the possibility of parole. And that's the difference. And not only that, like, one judge may give you 20 years, one judge may give you 30, one judge will give you 40. Like, how does that make sense, y'all? How does that make sense? Who came up with this? Whose bright idea was that? Make it a big gap. 0 to 50 years. You know, you choose as a judge how many years they should get. Yo, that's dumb. That's crazy. It needs to be changed. And then on top of that, understanding that you do have judges who are corrupt. And let's just say without doing the race thing, right? Let's just go back to understanding of just human beings in general. Humans make mistake. Humans have malice. Humans have hatred in their heart. Okay? We're not even going to use the race card. Okay? But by providing certain groups of people the ability to, in their discretion, determine how much time a person gets, yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem. There's also a huge disparity when it comes to solving crimes in the Black community. There's a Washington Post article I was reading. It was called "Where Killings Go Unsolved." Look it up. And it highlights different cities and different areas of unsolved cases. Most times, when it comes to the Black community, cases go unresolved at a much higher percentage than it does in other communities. Okay, and that's a fact. Can you guess which city had the highest rate of unresolved cases compared to the rest of America? Can you guess? going back to my original statement, I understand Mr. Rodney Hinton Jr. feeling like he may have had no other choice. Don't necessarily agree with it, but I understand it. Look, you don't have to always agree with everything, but you can understand things, and that's how you fix things. They misinterpret my understanding as agreement. I'd be like, hey, but this, people are tired. People are tired of their kids being gunned down. So you're just going to tell me that's what you're supposed to do? You're just supposed to go out and kill innocent people? I didn't say that. When did I say that? I didn't say that one time. I said people are tired of their kids being gunned down. That's what I said. I feel like people need to learn how to have conversations. Erica, why are you saying that? Do you feel as what he did was right? And I would answer, no, I don't feel what he did is right. He took an innocent man's life. Like, come on now. There's other ways, to get your point across. But I understand why he did it. He probably feels like the justice system ain't gonna work for me. And there's many other people who feel the same way. Let's go ahead and read some comments. So I blocked out the last names on purpose, because I ain't on that, y'all. Just want to have a conversation. Crystal says, where is his GoFundMe at? Debbie says, good. This is a life for a life. Now the other party can also feel exactly what he feels. Hey, not my words. This is something Debbie said, okay? I don't know. This is a comment from Facebook. This is what Debbie's saying. All right, I'm just sharing with y'all. Next comment. Sarah. He was a grieving dad, not in the right state of mind. Temporary insanity defense. When he did it, so free him. Sarah's saying free him. He's insane. Let's read some more comments. I don't condone violence or what he did, but people are tired of the shenanigans. This is happening way too often, and only to one race of people. He said it only happens to one race of people. I didn't say that. I didn't say it. That's something Miss MYSS. Blocking out last names. Again, we ain't on that. Great job, Dad. And I'm not scrolling. You can scroll and maybe you'll see one good comment and a negative comment. All of these comments are in order. They're in solidarity, okay? All of these people are in alignment and mind frame, okay? That's one thing that's apparent here. But I just want to show you how many people are out there who think that. Regardless if this post is in alignment with their mind frame or not. Tress says, free this father now. That's something Tress said. Kyle says, people are tired of these racist officers being the judge and the jury of our families. It says that he shot and killed his son for being in a stolen car. The cop's life was never in danger, but yet he used deadly force to unalive his son. That's something Kyle said. That's how Kyle feels. I didn't say it. That's what Kyle said. Okay, y'all? Prayers for both families. It's so sad. And it is sad. Why should we be having this conversation right now? I'm a preventable person, Preventable person. Let's prevent what we can. Let's take our vitamins. Let's, let's work out. Let's eat healthy. Let's try to prevent what we can. Let's try to stop the broken justice system. Let's try to stop the two-tier justice system so that way it doesn't spill over into the communities. Okay? Kareem says, this is unfortunately what has to happen until they take our lives seriously. That's what Kareem said. Y'all ain't say it. Now, those are just a few comments from Facebook. I just be scrolling. I'll be observing. I'll leave a comment on Facebook. I'll be like observing humanity because that's all I'm doing, y'all. And I hope you're observing too. But just wanted to show you that there's other people who feel like the justice system is broken. The justice system's not on their side. I can't depend on the justice system. I can't trust the justice system to play out in my favor. For those who want to ignore the fact that the system is broken, and for those who want to skate around the topic and try to run away from the problem, it's not going to fix anything. Because you know what? People who are affected, the individuals are affected. The individuals' families are affected, okay? The distrust towards organizations, who do you think that affects? If I say, I don't trust the police departments, I don't trust the government, you think that doesn't matter? What if we have multiple people saying that? Let's not be naive here. You know, it creates issues in our society, creates race wars, it creates hatred, it creates dislike, it creates division, it creates disagreements. And like, no one wants innocent lives to be lost, you know? Like, I know people dislike cops, but it's because y'all don't listen. Where's the de-escalation trainings at? Y'all been preaching that since George Floyd and BLM. Where's that at? You know what I'm saying? Everybody is trained to kill. And I know why they're going to say that. You'd rather it be them than you. Okay. But you got acorn cops out here. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. You have acorn cops out here. A lot of them. Okay. And there needs to be safeguards in place for these acorn cops. Okay. Trainings. Like, what happened to the trainings? What happened to all of that? So it's not that people, again, dislike cops. They dislike cops because they're part of an organization who hold down this brotherhood. And ultimately, it ends up being a disservice to all of the community, to everyone in the community, to all of society. Because they rather uphold this brotherhood versus do the right thing. That's not hard to do the right thing. So again, people feel the same way. There's a bunch of people feeling like the justice system is broken. It doesn't work for me. It may work for you, but it doesn't work for me. All right. In the case of Rodney Hinton Jr., when you're looking for someone to blame, make sure that you're pointing fingers at all the right people, because I can guarantee you it is not just the sole responsibility of Mr. Hinton Jr. It's not just his fault. Now, who does this affect? It affects the individual families, right? The individual's families, they have kids, wife, etc. Sole provider of that house home. It affects things like that. That affects the community, you know, domino effect. I'm a believer in a few things, you know, God, you know, I'm spiritual, universe, you know, karma, cause and effect. Okay. These things are prominent in my lifestyle. So I live by it. I ain't doing nobody wrong because the universe ain't finna spin a block on me. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, going back to who this affects, individuals, the individual families. You know, we have distrust towards organizations. You got people walking around, including myself. Okay. When I say people, I'm included, baby. Okay. I have a problem. I don't really trust these cops. I don't really trust these police departments. I do not trust these organizations. A lot of times they lie. They plant stuff, plant evidence. They alter stuff, alter images, alter videos. You know, they back each other up regardless if that person's wrong. Like, if you show me time and time again that this is your character, how can I trust you? How? I cannot. They'll swear up and down. Well, he did that. Let's think for a moment now. Is it a possibility that things are altered? Is it a possibility that things was planted? Is it a possibility that they're lying? Heck yeah. Every time. At this point, it's a 50-50 chance. It's just like the Me Too people that come out. It's just like old girl that came out with Shannon Sharp. You know what I'm saying? He did this such and such. Ma'am, go to the courts. Why are you telling me? Because you want to garner my support. I don't know you from a can of paint, and I don't know Shannon Sharp from a can of paint. So right now it's going to be 50-50. It's going to be innocent till proven guilty, and that's how we're going to let that play out. And that's what we need to start allowing to play out. All right, I'm getting off topic now. That's something I'm probably going to talk about in my next video. Anyway, this affects multiple people. Okay, organizations, individuals, families, like children, wives, society. Maybe that job he was working at, maybe he was top notch. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they needed him. Now they got to replace, and it's going to throw business off for a week. It affects so much in society. All right. And most importantly, society itself. Look around. You got race wars happening. You got people donating to old girl. I ain't even gonna say her name. She don't fucking deserve it. Excuse my language. But you got people donating to old girl for calling a 5-year-old, racial slurs. You got just the most happening right now. And where do you think that all comes from? People eventually are like, damn, I'm tired of doing the right thing. I'm tired of standing by, having my morals, having my principles, being ethical, and the people next to me are not. That can be frustrating. Again, am I saying wild out? No, but I'm saying I understand when people do. I understand why they are doing it. That's what I'm saying. So I appreciate y'all, family, for having this conversation with me. That's it for today. I've just wanted to christen my YouTube channel with a video. So first topic just happened to be Rodney Hinton Jr. I do believe he should plead insanity. And, do I necessarily agree with what he did? No, but I am going to stand by him because I do understand his position. And I do understand that he had a mental break. It happens. It happens. Tell us your thoughts. What happens to a person or society when things like this go unchecked? Can we sustain? Can we sustain much longer? 10, 15, 20, 30 years? Can we do it? Or is it something we can be like, that's just how it is. Let it go. It's all right. Is this something we can continue to ignore? And what are some ways we can fix it? All right, family, that's it for today. I really appreciate y'all for stopping by and having this conversation with me. It's important. These are things we need to be talking about in our community because it does disproportionately affect us compared to other communities. And I don't know about y'all, but I love my people. I'm going to always fight for my people. I'm going to fight for everybody. But when it comes to my people, y'all, I'm not playing, okay? Not playing these games. So, tell us your thoughts. Let us know. Is this something we can continue to deal with in society? Can we continuously ignore having a broken justice system, having a 2-tier justice system? Is this something that we can maintain? And if so, for how long? Go ahead and leave some comments. Let me know. Let me know your thoughts. Enjoy your day, family. But always remember to love one another. Okay?